Okay, people. So I do like a crime thriller. So I thought I'd give the Australian joint Bring Him to Me a look. Right? It's directed by Luke Sparke and written by Tom Evans. Now, Spark wears a lot of hats with this one, right? He's an executive producer along with Sean Virgin, Martin Walton. The film is produced by Carly and Carmel Imrie. It's co produced by Zach Garrett and associate produced by Brandon Franco and Sarah N. Franco, right? Frederick Windman took care of the music. Ross W. Clarkson is on cinematography. And Luke, right? Luke Sparke, he edits the piece along with Alison Leonard. Luke also is on production design. Hair and makeup, we have Brooke Kavanagh. Um, Art direction, Thomas Pitts, right? Our cast, right? So we have got our driver, played by Barry Pepper. The passenger, I think, I think they mention his name is Carl, right? He's played by Jamie Costa. We got Frank, played by Sam Neill. Um, I think his son is Sean, right? Played by Zach Garrett. There's Travis, played by Liam McIntyre. Veronica, played by Rachel Griffiths. Um, we then have got Haley, played by Harley Browan. Leon, played by Jennings Bauer. Janko, played by Alex Larry. C. Morales, played by Marcus Johnson. Budgie, played by Thomas Pitts. Veronica's bodyguards are played by Sean Virgin and Martin Walton. We've also got, I believe it's the passenger's ex-wife, anyway. She's played by Alison Francis Boyd. They don't list the daughter. So the gist of the film is this: under orders from a ruthless crime boss, Veronica, a getaway driver, must battle his conscience and drive an unsuspecting crew member to an ambush execution. There is a long drive ahead. Now, Tom Evans, who wrote this, he was inspired by Casino, right? Martin Scorsese's great film. And in particular, it's the death of Nicky Santoro, the Joe Pesci character that's friends with Sam for a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, so he's inspired by that, supposedly. Now, because Pesci's been in a lot of these films, right? And at first I was thinking of the death scene in Goodfellas, right? Where they pretend that he's a made man. Now, the death in Casino is a lot different. But I think there's nuances to all of these death scenes, which I think makes Bring Him to Me different. Right, we start off and we get we hear some people on the phone talking, right, to get the job done, and we see the start of something, right, and then we're you know our driver picking up this dude, right, and throughout the film we're getting flashbacks to this incident from the beginning. right? We see how it all unfolds and everything like that. Um, it's all fine, right? The acting's pretty solid. You know what I mean? We got Sam Neill in it. Sam's pretty good, right? Everyone's pretty good, right? I think there's not really an issue on that front. With this, because the as I said, look, the scene, the ambush scene in Goodfellas, lot different, right? There's a different tone to it because he's believing he's getting made, which is the worst part of it, right? Now, the casino one, again, it's different, but Nicky is like, he's gone rogue at this point. So he's paranoid, you know what I mean? And the tone is different, right? You're going into this situation kind of not knowing, but looking out, right? Now with this, I think we've got like there's all these twists and turns, right? Obviously, with a thriller like this, but also the initial circumstances seem so shady that you just kind of go, is anyone really going into this situation like this? There's too many like things that you would question about all of it. There's just too many, which then makes obviously you're watching, you're thinking, okay, there will be twists here. This is too, you know what I mean? It feels too simple of an idea, and there are, but with these twists, with everything that starts going down, there's not questions, right? There's not questions, which does seem a bit odd. And we have one of these things where people are talking way too much in certain scenarios, right? In certain scenarios, you're just like, look, someone that does this shit, they won't be talking. You're just doing a thing, right? You're just doing a thing. Because why would you talk, right? Why would you talk? Like we have this odd part where there's a lock gate, right? There's this lock gate, but not on the other end. And you're just like, wait, why would that be? Why would that be open? Right? It just makes no sense. Why would you give someone time? It makes no sense. There's these odd things. Like we get this mention of tracking money, right? We have that, which straight away should indicate to someone, but it it doesn't, which are just like, hold on. And it's just this whole scenario of what actually is going down. Again, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. And I think it's because you know, we're only seeing a snapshot, right? So when certain things are said, you have to go, okay, right? And then you have to go, wait, so if that's the case, then why didn't that happen? Right? Why wasn't that? Now, the way certain films work, because oh yeah, that, like what we've seen from that person, that's not true. That would never happen. Obviously, they're full of shit, right? And that adds to the suspense, right? That adds to the fuck. But we don't get that here, which is a shame. Right? Veronica being the big bad. a little too chatty, right? A little too chatty, but the chat is a bit monotone and bland, right? It doesn't whew, make your spine tingle, right? It's not putting you on edge. It's not, it's just like, okay, all right, she's talking, you know? Like, it's not she's acting bad or anything like that. It's just the words carry no gravitas, right? They don't carry that bite. They don't carry the fear which someone like that should do to hold that position, and especially a woman, right? You gotta carry that fear, right? Put everyone on edge. Be like, fuck, can't fuck with Veronica. And then within these situations, the way some people talk to each other, you're just like, wait, why would you do that in this situation, knowing what you know? Hmm. Yeah, which makes it a bit odd, right? So bring him to me. It's it's one of those films, right? It's one of those films which isn't like, oh, this is bad, right? It's not bad. It's just it's not on. It doesn't feel like it's on the same level as like some really outstanding films of the same vein. You know what I mean? Like there's that. I think it's called The Lookout, right? With Gord uh, uh, homie from 50/50. Is it Gordon Levitt? I think it's Gordon Levitt, right? Which was really good. You know what I mean? We've got like Desperation Road, which is a pretty solid film. You know, so there's these films that are just like, oh, that bite, carry that bite. You know what I mean? And bring him to me. Just it doesn't have that same impact. So it's okay. It's okay, right? But yeah, when if you're you're putting together a film marathon, right? You got Goodfellas, you got Casino, Once Upon a Time in America. You know what I mean? There's certain films that you have, right? Donnie Brasco, just to the party. I mean, I could go on, right? I could go on. You're not putting Bring Him to Me in your watch list for a night like that. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So it's okay, but it just doesn't stand with some of the greats. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's on Prime Video right now. You'll find it on all your other favorite VODs. I believe it's coming to the States in June. Keep an eye out. So yeah, bring him to me.